Today is going to be the first day that we are going to start crushing those billionaires, those multinationals, those huge corporations that have been trying to grind us down to the ground, that have been trying to kill us with their crappy ultra processed foods, with their monopolies, with their manipulations. And I'm telling you, we have the power because we have been on this spiritual journey and they haven't. They know shit about spirituality. So we have to take spirituality as our ammunition because they know jack about it, okay? And with that, we can crush them. We can crush them once and for all and watch them squirm like the dried up little worms that they are. So, like everyone else, I have been virtually, for the past week and a half, I've been virtually living in this app called xiaohongshu, which is a Chinese app called RedNote. But xiaohongshu literally translates as the little red book. So these, since TikTok was banned, millions, I think it's millions now, American TikTok refugees have flocked to xiaohongshu. And so I went in and I was just it was so heartening, so touching to see all these Americans discovering that Chinese people are not the monsters that they're portrayed to be. And they are now, and they've made so many friends. It's just so nice to see this dialogue between the two nations without these middle people manipulating both sides about the other and triangulating them like a huge scale narcissistic family. So I just want to reiterate that I am no spiritual guru. I'm not an expert. I'm on this journey just like you. So what I'd like to discuss is just my personal opinion, and I hope that you'll offer me your feedback. Fill up the comment section and tell me what you think. And after being on the app for a few days, I remembered having a conversation with a friend of mine way back last year, way before the US elections. And now this is not a political discussion. I'm talking about this solely from a spiritual point of view. Yeah. Malaysians buy into the American dream just as anyone else. And my friend is a hardcore Dem. I remember, I told her, we just don't know. We don't know who's on our side. If we're so eager for someone or some party or a group of people to save us, what if that group doesn't have enough integrity not to take advantage of our weaknesses, of our sometimes even desperation, So I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I said something that kind of shocked her. Now, I'm doing this at the risk of being misunderstood. This is why it took me so long to gather the courage to do this episode, because I might get haters, at worst, and I might be misunderstood at best. So what I said to her was that a Trump presidency will most probably bring about a massive awakening, not just for Americans, but for the rest of the world. And this is going to be such a huge opportunity. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. And then I said, I seriously doubt it's going to happen in my lifetime. And look what's happening now. Life is strange. It is so strange that we always have to have an open mind. We always have to be open to huge, massive, fast changes. Look at how fast Americans are changing their opinion of China. Their eyes are opening now. It's not just Americans, most people are asleep. So anyway, it then occurred to me that wouldn't it be ironic that, for decades, America has been the role model for the material world. Wouldn't it be ironic that America is now the role model for spiritual awakening? It's very possible because you guys are in a situation where there's really nowhere else to go. So yeah, I'm rooting for you guys, to take the lead and form communities wherever you are for this once in a lifetime chance to spiritually awaken. There are chances every single day for spiritual awakening. It depends on whether we take those chances or not. If we don't take those chances, they become increasingly more uncomfortable for us, increasingly unpleasant, until we reach a point where we have nowhere to go but to awaken. And maybe the world is ready for that. I don't know. Am I being too optimistic? The reason I want to take this topic to this channel is because I spoke to a few friends and they didn't seem to know what I was talking about. So when I said a Trump presidency might bring about a massive global awakening, my friend said, how? How is he going to do that? I mean, how is he going to benefit anyone spiritually? What's he going to implement? I said, no, you're not getting the point. He is not going to do anything to create spiritual awakening. He's not going to implement anything to benefit anyone spiritually. He will inadvertently cause a global awakening by just being himself. As I said before, this is not a political discussion, because this is where this is where we minimize our judgment of how people behave. Sometimes bad behavior can result in something good. The status quo can remain the same for the next 100 years, or a huge change can happen and we don't know where it'll go. We don't know where it'll take us. Isn't that exciting? I find it really exciting how the Americans are interacting with the Chinese now, and they're just so overwhelmed by what they're learning now. They're so in awe of what they're learning now that I really see that as a good thing. From a spiritual point of view, I really think we're heading somewhere. If we allow it to happen, if enough people realize that this is the opportunity of a lifetime to spiritually awaken. That when she said, how is Trump going to do it? What kind of policy is he going to implement? Spiritual awakening doesn't come from structure. It comes from chaos. Well, I might be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do you think that spiritual awakening comes from structure? Maybe for some people, but for the majority of us, we need a wake-up call that's more than a slap in the face. We need everything to come crashing down in order for spiritual awakening to happen. So is it dangerous? Is it bad? A lot of the TikTok refugees don't seem to think so, because they're saying, oh, sure, you can, the Chinese government can have all my data. I don't care. We're just cutting off the middlemen. Yeah, to a large extent, they're right. And that's because they really, really, they are craving, they're hungry for change. They are hungry to see the truth. But what is the truth? This euphoria, is it going to just fall like a deflated balloon? Another friend said to me, oh, it's dangerous, don't go in there, be careful. And I said, we can only be careful to a certain extent. There's no such thing as privacy nowadays anyway. Everyone has your data. Are we going to be influenced into their culture? Are we going to become, all of us, are we going to become communists? Some people say, if this is communism, then bring it on. I don't mind. There's so many different opinions about it. And to me, it's just keep an open mind. Yes, the euphoria might end. Yes, it may not be what it seems. But if we want to go through spiritual awakening, we have to have the courage to not know where we're heading. I really feel that this chance might not come again for a very, very long time if we don't take it now. And things will only get worse. The ammunition that we have against these billionaires, against these corporations that are grinding us to the ground, that are killing all of us, they won't have a head start. We do. They know nothing about spirituality. They don't have the desire for spirituality. It's only money and power to them. So if we do this, if we awaken now, if we try our very best to awaken now, we will win. This is the only way to win. And crush them once and for all. Crush them. If you liked this video, please subscribe so you won't miss my next video, which is going to be about polarization. In my humble opinion, it is possible for the world to split into two. This is the polarization that I'm talking about, not about which political party you align with, not about what religion you align with, but it is going to be the polarization between those who are spiritually awakening, who seek spiritual awakening, and those who don't, those who are not interested in awakening at all, who refuse to leave this outdated timeline, and those who are ready to move forward, to move on to another spiritual dimension.